Hello, everyone. Did you get out there about human trafficking statistics by state? Excuse me. Start off with the Bible verse, Matthew 18, verse 6. But whoso shall offend one of these little ones which believe in me, it were better for him that a millstone were hanged about his neck, and that he were drowned in the depth of the sea. Going to verse 10. Take heed that ye despise not one of these little ones, for I say unto you, that in heaven their angels do always behold the face of my Father which is in heaven. Always read the copyright disclaimer under Section 107, the Copyright Act of 1976. Allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, scholarship, and research. Fair use is use permitted by a copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing. Nonprofit, educational, or personal use tips the favor, balance in favor of fair use. Thank you. I hope everyone's having a great day. It's nice and hot today. It's a little bit too hot, so I hope everyone stays hydrated. And be sure you take care of your pets, the little ones, the elderly. Check on them as well. Without further ado, I'll go ahead and bring up the human statistics and start it off. Go ahead and start it like that. You want to kind of fight me here. Yeah, share screen. All right. Here is the human trafficking statistics by state. This is at whitesvoter.com. State rankings, human trafficking statistics by state. Tracker introduction. It claims that the national human trafficking cases, the national average in the United States is 169. That's far less than what should be. Human trafficking victims, 295. Sex trafficking statistics on the national average is 129. And labor trafficking statistics, the national average is 21. This is according to this site. A little bit later, I'll be having another podcast and talk about the trafficking hotline share graphics. This one right here is Wise Voter one. I don't put too much stock in this. This must be 2023, and it should be a lot more cases than that. Introduction. Human trafficking is a grave issue that affects numerous individuals around the world, including the United States. The states with the highest human trafficking statistics are California, Texas, and Florida. California tops the list with 1,334 reported cases and 2,122 victims, followed by Texas with 917 cases and 1,702 victims, and Florida with 781 cases and 1,253 victims. Those states are major hubs for human trafficking due to their large populations, international borders, and significant transportation networks. Sex trafficking appears to be more prevalent than labor trafficking. The sex trafficking cases outnumber labor trafficking cases in most states. This is evident in states like California, Texas, and Florida, where sex trafficking statistics are considerably higher than labor trafficking. Another trend worth highlighting is the presence of the high trafficking numbers in states with major urban centers such as New York, Illinois, and Nevada. These urban areas may attract traffickers due to the large transient populations thriving nightlife, and diverse industries that can exploit vulnerable individuals. Understand, like California, I'm going to go down here, look at tracking in the United States. There's Alabama, human trafficking cases, ranked number 32 in the U.S. There's 80. Human trafficking victims, 216. Like I said, I don't believe the true statistics on this because if this is the true statistic, there needs to be a lot more arrest. Sex trafficking statistics, there are 55 ranked in the U.S., number 34 still. Labor trafficking statistics, ranked 24 in there, and there's been 11. It says Alabama has 80 reported cases of human trafficking involving 216 victims. Sex trafficking accounts for 55 instances, while 11 cases involve labor trafficking. The state is actively working to combat human trafficking through multidisciplinary partnerships, public awareness campaigns, and victim-centered support centers, which I don't believe that because there was a law where they did not enact, and I'm not sure whether Tennessee did or not. I have to check back into that, where I did a video on ages where they are allowed to marry, even though the law says you got to be 17 or 18. They still had statutes in there where some people are getting away with marrying if a judge said it's okay, to a little bitty child. And that's why I'm saying Alabama's one of them where that can happen. So I don't call them actively because if you marry a kid, that's wrong. Marry a child. Alaska, human trafficking cases 16, ranked in the U.S. number 48. Human trafficking victims, ranked 48, 49, like it says. Sex trafficking statistics, ranked, it says 10, ranked in the U.S. 50. Labor trafficking statistics, 3. Alaska reports 16 cases of human trafficking involving 25 victims. Among these cases, 10 are related to sex trafficking. The state has demonstrated a strong commitment to combating human trafficking through legislative measures, victim services, and interagency collaboration. So it says that, but it said that on Alabama too. But we already know that they denied the law and protected children from getting married. A judge have an authority to marry people who are adult and then marry a child. There's been some with the children been age 10. I kid you not. Go watch my video. Kid you not. And in Arizona, human trafficking cases, 217. Human trafficking victims, 337. Sex trafficking statistics, 163. Labor trafficking statistics, 21. This is in 2023. Put that, okay, just as long as you know. This is 2023. Okay. In Arizona, 217 cases of human trafficking have been reported, affecting 337 victims. Among these cases, 163 are related to sex trafficking, and 21 involve labor trafficking. The state has implemented various initiatives such as multi-agency task forces to enhance collaboration and coordination among stakeholders in combating human trafficking. I think I'm going to stop reading that part because I'm tired of reading it when I know for a fact that some of these are not doing that. I'm not going to give them the knowledge of saying that they are working to combat it when some of these states aren't. I gave a list on that video of the states that are truly combating it, not allowing these adults to marry small children. Arkansas, human trafficking cases 74, human trafficking victims 168, sex trafficking statistics 62, Labor trafficking statistics 7. That's all these are. Basically, everywhere is statistics because, as we know, that there are a lot of cases out there that are not, don't know anything about. No way to really know the exact number of cases. Arkansas has reported 74 cases of human trafficking involving 168 victims. Of these cases, 62 are related to sex trafficking, while 7 cases involve labor trafficking. The state has been proactive in addressing human trafficking by implementing prevention programs, supporting victim services, and enhancing the capacity of law enforcement agencies to investigate and prosecute traffickers. Okay, but I did read it again. But California human trafficking cases, 1,334 human trafficking victims, 2,122. Sex trafficking statistics, 1,023 victims. Labor trafficking statistics, 131. Which that says again, human trafficking in California is a significant issue with 1,334 reported human trafficking cases involving 2,122 victims. The majority of these cases involve sex trafficking, with 1,023 instances reported, while labor trafficking accounts to 131 cases. California's high population, extensive transportation networks, and proximity to international borders make it a major hub for human trafficking. Right? This is Colorado, and let's say that Colorado has encountered 150 human trafficking cases affecting 240 victims. The majority of these cases, 106 in total, involve sex trafficking, while 20 cases pertain to labor trafficking. The state has implemented comprehensive measures to combat human trafficking. I'm going to try my best not to read that every time. As I said, some of these are not true. Connecticut, human trafficking cases, 54. Human trafficking victims, 66. Sex trafficking statistics, 81. Labor trafficking. Connecticut reports 54 cases of human trafficking involving 66 victims. Among these cases, 41 are related to sex trafficking, while 8 cases involve labor trafficking. Right? Delaware. Delaware reports 31 cases of human trafficking involving 40 victims. Among these cases, 27 are related to sex trafficking, while 3 cases involve labor trafficking. The state has been actively working to combat human trafficking through the establishment of specialized task forces. Yeah, it's kind of hard not to read all the way through. I'm hoping it would say something different. Okay, and this is District of Columbia. The District of Columbia reports 44 cases of human trafficking involving 61 victims. Among these cases, 32 are related to sex trafficking, while 6 cases involve labor trafficking. Okay. This is Florida. Human trafficking cases 781. Human trafficking victims 1,253. Sex trafficking statistics 574. Labor trafficking. Oh, thank you so much. Okay, thank you. I'll be sure to I'll be sure to give it the door time enough to dry, before I close it. I said I'll be sure to let the door dry good before closing it all the way. Okay, you have a good one. Thank you. Florida, there have been 781 reported cases of human trafficking involving 1,253 victims. Florida also has one of the highest sex trafficking statistics, with 574 sex trafficking cases, while 99 cases involve labor trafficking. Florida's extensive coastline, popular tourist destinations, and diverse population make it an attractive location for traffickers. Yep, that's true. And in Georgia, going down here, human trafficking in Georgia constitutes an important issue with 281 cases involving 1,065 victims. Georgia also has one of the highest sex trafficking statistics in the U.S., with 194 instances reported, while labor trafficking constitutes 61 cases. Georgia's major metropolitan areas, including Atlanta, and its position as a transportation and logistics hub, contribute to its vulnerability to human trafficking. Hawaii's Hawaii's Hawaii reports 30 cases of human trafficking involving 44 victims. Among these cases, 23 are related to sex trafficking. Hawaii faces unique challenges due to its location and tourism industry. Idaho, human trafficking, victims, sex trafficking. Idaho reports 33 cases of human trafficking with 37 victims. Among these cases, 25 are related to sex trafficking, while 4 cases involve labor trafficking. Illinois, wow, that's pretty bad too. Look at these numbers here. In Illinois, there have been 243 reported cases of human trafficking impacting 355 victims. Of these cases, 177 are sex trafficking cases, while 27 are labor trafficking cases. Illinois, with its large population centers, major transportation infrastructure, and diverse industries, serves as a hotspot for human trafficking. Indiana, here we go. Let y'all see the numbers before I read them down here. Indiana has reported 123 human trafficking cases with 176 victims. Among these cases, 99 are related to sex trafficking, while 15 cases involve labor trafficking. The state's central location and major interstate highways make it susceptible to trafficking. Indiana has, I almost started again. Read that. I had to catch myself. Iowa, and I said many times that this is statistics. This is not the true thing because a lot of cases are not reported. So, Iowa has reported 86 human trafficking cases involving 161 victims. I'll tell you, even one case is bad, okay? Just one case would be bad. If a state even says, 161 victims or 86 human trafficking cases, still feel bad that this is still going on regardless of the numbers. And we always know the numbers are even greater than what is put here. Sex trafficking constitutes the majority with 62 cases reported, while labor trafficking accounts for 10 cases. The state's transportation infrastructure, agricultural industry, and vulnerable populations contributed to its trafficking problem. Contributes, okay, still contributes. Kansas, wow. Kansas has reported 85 human trafficking cases with 138 victims. Among these cases, 70 are related to sex trafficking, while 8 cases involve labor trafficking. The state faces challenges in combating human trafficking, particularly in the realm of sex trafficking, and efforts prevention strategies, victim identification, and law enforcement collaboration are crucial to addressing the issue effectively. Sometimes, if the police will believe you, do the work. Sometimes, Kentucky. And I believe this is supposed to be the statistics of this year, 2023. That's what I had clicked on, and that's what it said. Kentucky has reported 115 human trafficking cases with 189 victims. Among these cases, 89 are related to sex trafficking. 11 cases involve labor trafficking. The state's strategic location, interstate highways, and presence of vulnerable populations contribute to its trafficking problem. There's Louisiana. Not good, man. Not good. It's ranked number 9, number 8 in that field of labor. But Louisiana has reported 126 human trafficking cases with 362 victims. Among these cases, 85 are related to sex trafficking, while 25 cases involve labor trafficking. The state faces significant challenges in combating human trafficking due to its geographic location, extensive transportation infrastructure, and high poverty rates. Maine. Maine also reports 31 cases of human trafficking involving 83 victims. Among these cases, 22 are related to sex trafficking, while 7 cases involve labor trafficking. The state has been dedicated to combating human trafficking. Here's Maryland. Maryland has reported 118 human trafficking cases involving 173 victims. Sex trafficking comprises the majority of cases, with 97 instances reported, while labor trafficking accounts for 12 cases. The state's proximity to major metropolitan areas, international airports, and its diverse population contributes to the prevalence of human trafficking. You were one of these states that actually has contributed and making it better by doing these certain laws that you cannot even marry someone under the age of 17 by a judge's okay, and that you can marry, a grown adult can marry a child. That's wrong. If you got that still in your system in your law, you're messed up still, because you are really supporting the victimization of children. This is what this is about: victimization of children. Massachusetts, human trafficking cases 93, human trafficking victims 143, sex trafficking statistics 72, labor trafficking statistics 11. Which in these cases, when it's talking about the human trafficking and sex trafficking, it can also be adults. It's not mainly just children. Massachusetts has reported 93 human trafficking cases with 143 victims. Among these cases, 72 are related to sex trafficking, while 11 cases involve labor trafficking. The state's largest urban centers, international airports, and significant immigrant populations make it a target for traffickers. Michigan now ranked number 5 in human trafficking. Oh man, sex trafficking statistics were number 5. Oh, I would not want to live there. Michigan has reported 295 cases of human trafficking involving 429 victims. Michigan also has one of the highest sex trafficking statistics, with 238 sex trafficking cases, while 18 are labor trafficking cases. Michigan's proximity to the Canadian border, major metropolitan areas, and transportation routes contribute to its vulnerability to trafficking. Minnesota. Minnesota has reported 98 human trafficking cases with 148 victims. Among these cases, 75 are related to sex trafficking, while 8 cases involve labor trafficking. The state's large immigrant population, international airport, and proximity to the Canadian border contribute to its trafficking issue. Mississippi. Wow, that's one state over from Alabama. Number seven. Seven with that. Not good at all. Mississippi has reported 233 cases of human trafficking, impacting 316 victims. Among these cases, 218 are related to sex trafficking, while 9 involve labor trafficking. Mississippi's proximity to major highways, agricultural industries, and its vulnerable populations make it a target for human traffickers. Missouri, ranked number 8. Missouri has reported 240 cases of human trafficking involving 327 victims. Sex trafficking constitutes the majority of these cases, with 210 instances reported, while labor trafficking accounts for 15 cases. Missouri's central location, major highways, and urban areas contribute to its susceptibility to human trafficking. Right, number 9. Okay, this is Montana. Montana reports 24 cases of human trafficking involving 43 victims. Among these cases, 22 are related to sex trafficking. The state acknowledges the presence of human trafficking. But I'm not going to read the rest because we all know where I stand there. Nebraska. Nebraska reports 57 cases of human trafficking involving 134 victims. Among these cases, 47 are related to sex trafficking, while 5 cases involve labor trafficking. Nevada. Nevada has documented 201 human trafficking cases involving 296 victims. Among these cases, 157 are related to sex trafficking and 18 pertain to labor trafficking. The illustrated rank 14. New Hampshire said this supposed to be in 2013 statistics. This year it's not over yet. New Hampshire reports 24 cases of human trafficking involving 75 victims. Among these cases, 20 are related to sex trafficking, while 3 cases involve labor trafficking. New Jersey. New Jersey has reported 151 cases of human trafficking, with 466 victims identified. Sex trafficking is prevalent in the state, accounting for 112 cases, but 22 cases involve labor trafficking. Rank number 18. New Mexico. reports 59 cases of human trafficking with 267 victims. Sex trafficking comprises 41 instances, while 7 cases involve labor trafficking. The state has recognized human trafficking as a significant concern. They should recognize it, but really, do you really? Are you one of the states that lets adults marry children? Oh man, look at New York. Well, we knew York was pretty bad about this. Ranked number 4. Wow, they got bad standards here. New York has reported 404 cases of human trafficking with 639 victims identified. New York also has one of the highest sex trafficking statistics in the U.S., with 310 instances reported, while labor trafficking accounts for 37 cases. As a major international transportation hub and densely populated state, New York provides an conducive, environment conducive to human trafficking. North Carolina is ranked number 12 with the human trafficking cases and 11 human trafficking victims, 11 sex trafficking, number 6 in labor trafficking. North Carolina has recorded 223 human trafficking cases, impacting 340 victims. For these cases, 165 involve sex trafficking and 34 are linked to labor trafficking. Rank number 12. North Dakota. North Dakota reports 19 cases of human trafficking involving 33 victims. Among these cases, 13 are related to sex trafficking, while 3 cases involve labor trafficking. The state has recognized the need to combat human trafficking. Well, that's pretty good on not having many cases, but is that actually, are they actually doing something about it or by not reporting, or are they really reporting and doing the job? But I know there's got to be more people out there that just haven't been caught. And I pray to God they're really doing their job there. You know what I'm saying? This one right here is not good at all. In Ohio, human trafficking in Ohio constitutes an important issue with 291 cases affecting 424 victims. In these cases, 232 involve sex trafficking, while 23 involve labor trafficking. Ohio's central location, major highways, and diverse economy create conditions where human trafficking can flourish. Number 6 is what they're ranked. Oklahoma has reported 99 human trafficking cases involving 180 victims. Sex trafficking comprises the majority, with 77 instances reported, while labor trafficking accounts for 7 cases. The state's major interstate highways and vulnerable populations contribute to its trafficking problem. See, every state's going to say that they're combating or doing their best to combat and everything. Well, we know better than that, so that's why I'm not trying not to read all that. You know what I'm saying? That's why I'm trying to do my best. Oregon. In Oregon, there have been 160 reported human trafficking cases involving 246 victims. Among these cases, 119 are related to sex trafficking, while 12 are attributed to labor trafficking. 16. Pennsylvania. Whoa. Pennsylvania has reported 192 cases of human trafficking, impacting 315 victims. Among these cases, 153 are associated with sex trafficking, while 18 are linked to labor trafficking. Puerto Rico. You know, that's got to be bigger than that. You know, it's got to have more of a major problem than that. I think there's a lot of hush hush stuff about Puerto Rico. Puerto Rico reports 12 cases of human trafficking involving 13 victims. Among these cases, 8 are related to sex trafficking. Rhode Island. Rhode Island also reports 16 cases of human trafficking involving 23 victims. Among these cases, 13 are related to sex trafficking. The state is, I almost did it again about reading that. They might be one of the states that implemented that they're not going to marry any of the adults. It might be one of the states. That might be why that's better because they might be really cracking down on that. Buys. I think they are one of the states that implemented that law. South Carolina. South Carolina has reported 124 human trafficking cases involving 279 victims. In these cases, 81 are related to sex trafficking, but 22 cases involve labor trafficking. The state's extensive coastline and proximity to major transportation routes contribute to its vulnerability to trafficking. South Dakota. South Dakota reports 29 cases of human trafficking involving 63 victims. Among these cases, 21 are related to sex trafficking, while 5 cases involve labor trafficking. Tennessee, here we go. We did not have that new, we did not approve that new law, and we should have. I'm really mad at Tennessee for not doing that. Tennessee has recorded 152 human trafficking cases affecting 217 victims. Sex trafficking comprises the majority of these cases, with 115 instances reported, compared to 13 cases of labor trafficking. Texas. Whoa. Ranked in the U.S. two, all the way down two. Human trafficking in Texas is a significant issue with 917 human trafficking cases affecting 1,702 victims. Of these cases, 661 are related to sex trafficking, while 131 are related to labor trafficking. Pretty bad. Utah. Utah reports 78 cases of human trafficking with 118 victims. Among these cases, 64 are related to sex trafficking, while 4 cases involve labor trafficking. Vermont. And this might be, I think this is one of the places that implemented where adult cannot marry a kid too. So I think that has helped significantly also. Vermont reports 14 cases of human trafficking involving 29 victims. Among these cases, 9 are related to sex trafficking. And I like it because it said they have been, Vermont has been dedicated to combating human trafficking through prevention initiatives, victim services, and training for professionals. Virginia. Virginia, there have been 140 reported human trafficking cases with 179 victims identified. Both sex trafficking and labor trafficking are significant concerns in the state, with 106 cases attributed to sex trafficking and 19 cases to labor trafficking. Washington. In Washington, there have been 233 reported human trafficking cases involving 337 victims. Out of these cases, 192 are related to sex trafficking, while 19 are associated with labor trafficking. West Virginia. West Virginia reports 39 cases of human trafficking involving 46 victims. Among these cases, 29 are related to sex trafficking, while 5 cases involve labor trafficking. Wisconsin. Wisconsin has reported 95 human trafficking cases involving 166 victims. Of these cases, 72 are related to sex trafficking, while 7 cases involve labor trafficking. The state's location along major transportation routes and its diverse economy contribute to the prevalence of trafficking. Wyoming. Wyoming reports 13 cases of human trafficking involving 22 victims. Among these cases, 11 are related to sex trafficking. And it, like it says, what state has the most human trafficking? California has the highest human trafficking statistics with 1,334 cases and 2,122 victims. Related state trackers, crime rate by state, domestic violence by state, um, car registration fee by state, gun deaths per capita by state, gun violence by state, mass shootings by state, missing persons by state, most dangerous states, murder rate by state, non extradition states, rape statistics by state, recidivism rate by state, safest states in the U.S., school shootings by state, and serial killers by state. I think that would be pretty interesting going back and looking at this further. As I said, wisephoto.com, it's where the state rankings thing is. But like I said, I don't, you cannot put stock into the numbers because no one really knows the numbers. Let's get on here, be the voice. See something, say something. You might be the person's only hope. Thank you. God bless.